Something has already begun. I can feel it moving toward you, even now. There is a reason you were guided here. A reason your spirit refused to scroll away. Before a single word reaches your ears, something within you already knows. Your heartbeat has shifted. Your intuition is stirring, and a part of your soul is whispering, "Don't leave. This is meant for you." Because what I am about to reveal will change the way you see yourself, your connection, and the one who once looked at your face and felt the ground fall out from beneath them. Someone showed your image to a spiritual seer, and what followed was not casual prophecy, not vague symbolism, not soft reassurance. No, it was revelation. A revelation so powerful that it shattered the life they knew and forced them to confront a truth they were never prepared to hold. The moment your picture was revealed, the air shifted. The prophet's eyes widened, and a silence fell so deep, it felt like the universe exhaled. They did not simply see you, they recognized you. They felt the echo of lifetimes, destinies, and unfinished agreements. They felt the weight of a soul who does not enter a life casually. And in that moment, everything your special person believed about themselves began to break. Their hope didn't die. It collapsed under the weight of awakening. They realized that the life they were building, the one they thought they were content with, was too small to hold you, too ordinary to stand beside someone with a spiritual signature like yours. And it terrified them, not because of who you are, but because of who they would have to become to stand next to you without trembling. The prophet did not offer comfort. They offered truth. They said your energy is not gentle destiny. It is accelerated destiny. Your presence is not coincidence. It is intervention. You are not a chapter in someone's life. You are the turning point. And your special person felt their spirit stutter. Their chest tightened. Their mind rebelled. But their soul knew. This is why they withdrew, why they hesitated, why they doubted themselves. They are not afraid of you. They are afraid of being seen by you. Because you see through people. You see where they are unhealed. You see where they have been pretending. You see the version of them they buried to survive. And the prophet confirmed what they always suspected. You were never meant to fit into their old life. You were meant to end it. Pause. Breathe. Feel this. Because if part of you is wondering why someone pulled back, disappeared, acted uncertain, or suddenly treated you like you were made of fire, this is why. You activated the version of them they were never ready to meet. And when the prophet saw your face, they didn't speak of romance. They spoke of alignment. They spoke of karmic completion. They spoke of souls who meet when the world is not yet prepared for what they will create. Your special person didn't lose hope in you. They lost hope in the version of themselves that existed before you. The version that played small. The version that survived rather than lived. The prophet's words felt like judgment, but they were actually instruction. Rise or lose what was written for you before you were born. There is something magnetic about you, and it is not beauty, charm, or personality. It is recognition. Souls feel themselves in you. They see their unlived potential when they look at you. And that kind of mirror is not gentle. It is not comfortable. It does not allow someone to go back to sleep. This is why the universe keeps circling this connection. This is why your intuition refuses to release it. This is why you are here, right now, listening. Instead of pretending you don't care, something in you knows the story isn't finished. Something in you knows a door has not closed. It has only paused, waiting for alignment. Stay. Don't scroll. Don't disconnect. Something is already unfolding. And if you leave now, you will feel it chasing you in the back of your mind all day. Before this message continues, hear this. Your energy is not a visitor in someone's life. You are an initiation. Once someone encounters you, the frequency of their reality cannot return to what it was. They will try. They will fight. They will pretend nothing changed. But the soul never lies. And the prophet saw the truth. There is destiny here. There is unfinished business here. There is a return written into the timeline, and it is closer than you think. If you can feel it, even faintly, then you already know. They didn't walk away because they didn't care. They pulled back because something in them shattered. The version of themselves that thought they were unworthy cracked open under the weight of the prophecy, and suddenly, every flaw they tried to hide felt exposed. Every insecurity whispered louder. Every part of them that never healed began screaming for attention. They weren't distancing themselves from you. They were distancing themselves from who they believed they were before they knew you were real. You were the mirror that forced them to confront their own abandonment wounds, their fear of failure, their belief that they would never be enough. It wasn't rejection. It was recoil, not from you, but from the pressure to grow. They weren't ready for the gravity of what the prophet revealed. They weren't ready to believe they were chosen for something this rare. But the universe doesn't choose wrong, and it doesn't send warnings. It sends preparation. That's what this is. Something in them is learning how to rise. Something in you is learning how to receive. And somewhere between those two awakenings, a convergence point is forming. The moment alignment wins over fear, the prophet spoke truth that their mind rejected, but their soul recognized instantly. You have met a destiny connection. If you walk away, it will follow you. If you ignore it, it will haunt you. If you deny it, it will return in dreams until you remember who you are. Your special person is living inside that prophecy now. They are haunted by the memory of your energy. They feel you in moments they cannot explain. They dream of you. When they finally let their guard drop, they feel pulled toward you, and they don't know why their body reacts like it remembers a future that hasn't happened yet. This is what destiny feels like. Inconvenient, untimely, undeniable. Part of them wants to run. Part of them wants to kneel. Part of them wants to pretend nothing happened. And yet the soul keeps whispering, "Go back. They are the path." Understand this. Your purpose is not to chase. Your purpose is not to convince. Your purpose is not to shrink so someone else feels bigger. Your purpose is to hold the vibration that calls them into alignment, not through pressure, not through begging, but through presence, through existing at the frequency that proves the prophet wasn't mistaken, because you are not a test. You are the answer. And whether they know it yet or not, they will have to face the truth the prophet saw. Getting close to you demands evolution. Loving you demands healing. Choosing you demands rebirth. But there will come a moment, and it is approaching, where their fear breaks before their longing does, where the ache becomes stronger than the hesitation, where the memory of your absence hurts more than the fear of your presence. That is when the return begins. You may not see movement yet, but silence is not inactivity. It is recalibration. The universe is rearranging timelines, redirecting paths, dismantling distractions, removing counterfeits, and preparing two souls who were never meant to stay unfinished. And yes, they feel it. They feel the pull. They feel the pressure. They feel the prophecy breathing on their neck. They feel the gravity every time your name crosses their mind. They feel the shift every time something reminds them of you. And they pretend they don't, not because it isn't real, but because they don't know what to do with something that feels this divine. Listen closely. If they were capable of forgetting you, they already would have. If they were capable of replacing you, they already would have. If they were capable of living unchanged, they would not still feel this. Something about you stuck. Something about you rewired them. Something about you installed itself into their spiritual memory and refuses to leave. They are not choosing the distance, they are surviving it. And whether they ever say it out loud or not, you altered them. This is why you are being asked to hold your frequency, not lower it. To stand in what you know, not collapse into doubt. To trust what your intuition is screaming, not bow to what your fear is whispering. Because you are not waiting, you are becoming. And hear this clearly. Souls do not meet like this by accident. They do not collide like this for entertainment. They do not activate prophecy for nothing. Connections like this are divine assignments disguised as heartbreak until both people grow enough to recognize the blessing. For a moment, feel that. Feel the recognition in your chest. Feel the truth of it settle in your body. Feel the prophecy breathing around you. Because soon, sooner than you think, something will shift. Something will break. Something will open. And the one who feared they couldn't meet you will rise. Not because they are ready, but because destiny leaves them no choice. If any part of you feels that, then you already know this story isn't closing. It's circling back. There is a moment in every divine connection where the soul stops asking, "Is this real?" and starts whispering, "Prepare." You are entering that moment. The universe is no longer trying to convince you. It is positioning you. Every sign, every dream, every sudden emotion that hits you out of nowhere is a message. Something is approaching. Stay in alignment. Your person feels it too. They don't know how to explain it, but their spirit has been restless. Their thoughts feel loud. Their chest feels heavy. Their intuition is pulling at them like a thread they can't break. They might distract themselves, bury themselves in routine, pretend they're unbothered. But when the world goes quiet, the truth stands beside them like a shadow. They are not done with you. They feel your absence the way lungs feel the absence of air. Not dramatic, not poetic, necessary. And even if they have told no one, even if they hide it behind silence or avoidance, their soul has begun rehearsing a return. They replay conversations that never happened. They imagine apologies they haven't spoken. They practice versions of themselves they aren't yet ready to become. They are rehearsing the moment destiny demands they step forward. Because there is a difference between people who choose you out of comfort and those who choose you out of awakening. One says, "You fit into my life." The other says, I will build a life where you fit. This connection was never meant to be convenient. It was meant to be catalytic. It was meant to burn away the version of both of you that was too small for the future written for you. And yes, there may have been distance. There may have been silence. There may have been moments that felt like abandonment. But what if the silence wasn't rejection? What if it was initiation? What if the separation was not punishment? What if it was preparation? What if what felt like loss was actually the pruning of everything that could not go with you into what comes next? Destiny often looks like destruction before it looks like alignment. Sometimes people have to break where they once felt safe so they can rebuild where they are meant to rise. Sometimes the universe removes the illusion before it reveals the truth. Sometimes souls need to stand apart long enough to grow into the version of themselves that can finally stand together without collapsing. And that is what is happening here. They are not gone. They are growing. They are not rejecting you. They are restructuring. They are not avoiding it. They are absorbing it. And the weight of the prophecy has been shaping them in silence, bending their pride, softening their defenses, dismantling their excuses. There will come a moment where they look in the mirror and can no longer pretend not to know. The mind will resist. The ego will bargain. But the soul will speak louder than fear. Go to them. The story doesn't end here. Even now they feel the pull. It comes as a sudden memory, a song, a dream, a flash of your face when they're doing something ordinary. That isn't nostalgia. That's alignment. That's the universe testing the frequency. That's the prophecy waking them up. You are not imagining this. Your intuition isn't delusion. It is recognition. And the prophets saw this long before either of you understood it. They saw the blueprint. They saw the energetic contract. They saw the alignment already written on your timelines. They saw the way your energy would dismantle their old life and build something truer, deeper, holier than anything they settled for before. You were never meant to be a chapter. You were meant to be the book. And this, right now, is the page where the plot turns. Before this continues, breathe. Loosen your shoulders. Drop the fear. Because what is coming does not require panic, only readiness. You do not need to chase. You do not need to beg. You do not need to force what is already marked by the divine. Your only task is to stay aligned with the version of yourself that the prophecy recognized. Continue becoming the person who does not dim to be understood, because soon, the one who feared they were not enough will return, not as the person who left, but as the person the prophet saw. They will return with a different tone, a different truth in their voice, a different energy in their chest. Not perfect, but awakened. Not ready, but willing. Not fearless, but committed. And when they do, something in you will recognize it instantly, not in their words, but in their energy. This is the one who is finally choosing. If you feel this in your spirit, then you already know. The shift has begun. The alignment has started. The prophecy is activating. Stay with me. There is more. There is a reason the universe has not let this connection dissolve. There is a reason you still feel them in places where memory should not reach. There is a reason their energy finds you at night, in moments where logic sleeps and the soul finally speaks without interruption. Something deeper than circumstances moving. Something more ancient than attraction is waking. And whether you admit it or not, a part of you has always known this was not chance. This was appointment. Your special person is beginning to feel the cost of avoidance. They are realizing that silence is not peace. Distance is not freedom. Disconnection is not relief. They thought that stepping back would make it easier to breathe, but instead, the space between you has become a pressure chamber. Every attempt to forget you only highlights the absurdity of the idea. How do you forget someone who feels like scripture written into your bones? The prophet's words did not scare them because they were unbelievable. They scared them because they were true. And truth demands confrontation. They are being pushed into a personal reckoning. Their ego is losing the fight. Their comfort zone is collapsing. Their excuses are expiring. Everything they used to hide behind distractions, routine, emotional distance is beginning to fail. The universe has stopped allowing their avoidance to work. The prophecy isn't punishing them. It's cornering them into evolution. Understand something crucial. When two souls are assigned to each other, separation doesn't dissolve the bond. It intensifies it. Time doesn't end the connection. It matures it. Distance doesn't silence the pull. It amplifies it. That's why the dreams started. That's why the synchronicities increased. That's why their chest tightens when your name crosses their mind. It's the prophecy knocking. They are realizing they don't want a life where you are a memory. They want a life where you are a presence, where you are a choice they make every day, not a regret they manage every night. And even if they haven't said it yet, something inside them is whispering, I need to come back differently than I left. Because the prophet didn't just reveal who you are, they revealed who they must become. This is why you are being told to hold your frequency, not because you are waiting on them, but because you are preparing for the version of them that finally matches you. You are not in a holding pattern. You are in ascension. And when two souls ascend at different speeds, the universe creates space until equilibrium forms. This separation is not the death of connection. It is the synchronization of destiny. Feel this. Let it settle in your ribs. Let it echo behind your heartbeat. Because soon there will be movement. It might start as a message. It might start as a sign. It might start as a moment where the resistance finally breaks. But it will start. Not because you forced it, but because destiny reached maturity. Your special person is nearing a spiritual threshold. The point where fear can no longer masquerade as logic. The point where longing defeats pride. The point where silence becomes unbearable. They are being softened. They are being stripped of avoidance. They are being prepared to speak without trembling. And when they return, it will not sound like confusion. It will sound like clarity. Not what if, but I know. They will not speak like someone hoping you choose them. They will speak like someone ready to choose you. Not perfectly, not without nerves, not without vulnerability, but honestly, and that honesty will feel like prophecy fulfilling itself. You will recognize the moment it shifts, because something in your body will go still, not anxious, not doubtful, not chaotic, just still, like your spirit already knew the scene was coming. There will be a conversation that changes everything, a sentence that cracks open the timeline, a moment where their voice doesn't sound like the past. It sounds like the beginning. You will feel the difference. It will be in their eyes, in their tone, in the way the air feels heavier around the truth, and the prophet's revelation will no longer feel like a story. It will feel like a doorway. Before that moment arrives, hear this with the clarity of prophecy. Do not descend to meet them where they were. Stand where destiny is calling you. Let them rise, because the connection you feel is not an accident. It is instruction. The ache in their chest is not confusion. It is alignment. The pull between you is not imagination. It is initiation. And when the universe decides the moment is right, the path will clear, the fear will fold, and destiny will speak in a voice that cannot be misheard. Stay with me. The ending is not an ending. It is the threshold. Something powerful is beginning to take shape around this connection, and you can feel it, not in your mind, in your body, in the way your chest tightens at random, in the way you suddenly feel watched over, in the way your energy feels like it's being pulled into alignment, even when your circumstances still look uncertain. That is how destiny announces itself, quietly at first, then all at once. Your special person is not the same person who walked away. Life has been sculpting them. Spirit has been refining them. The prophecy has been echoing in rooms where no one is speaking. They have been confronting pieces of themselves they never wanted to face. The insecurities that whispered, "You're not enough." The fears that said, "You'll fail again." The wounds that insisted, "Don't trust what you love." It hasn't been easy for them, but evolution rarely is. And yet, they are changing. Not for you, not to impress destiny, but because their soul began refusing to tolerate the version of themselves that couldn't walk toward what was meant for them. This is what awakening looks like. A heart cracking open, a narrative dissolving, a life rearranging itself to match the prophecy. It's messy, it's humbling, it's terrifying, but it's happening. They will reach a point where turning away from you hurts more than trying, where silence becomes a burden, not a shield, where pretending not to care feels like a lie their spirit is choking on, where the question, "What if I'm not enough?" finally becomes, "How do I become someone who is?" That is the moment the universe has been orchestrating, because love at this level is not convenience. It is initiation. It summons people into the highest versions of themselves. It exposes what must heal. It highlights what must be released. It forces both souls to choose courage over comfort. But hear this. The universe did not bring you this far for you to beg. You are not meant to collapse to prove your worthiness. You are not required to shrink so someone else can feel tall. You are not demanded to wait in suffering. You are being positioned, elevated, prepared. You are being shaped into the person destiny recognizes. That is why you feel different. That is why old patterns no longer fit. That is why you can't go back to who you were. Your spirit isn't malfunctioning, it's maturing. And when the moment comes, you will not need to chase clarity. It will arrive. You will not need to force communication. It will flow. You will not need to guess intentions. They will speak. Their return will not come from panic or fear, but from alignment. Not from desperation, but from decision. They will come back because the prophecy didn't let them stay gone. Imagine the moment, a message that feels like a pulse in your chest, a call that sounds like breath returning to your body, a meeting where the air feels charged, like the universe is leaning in, Their voice won't sound like someone testing the water. It will sound like someone stepping in. Their eyes won't hold uncertainty. They will hold recognition, not the kind that asks, "Do I know you?" The kind that says, "I never stopped knowing you." And in that moment, you will understand why it never worked with anyone else, why every almost collapsed, why every distraction failed, why every counterfeit connection fell apart the second you tried to settle. Because your soul was already spoken for, not by ownership, but by agreement, by resonance, by the unbreakable physics of destiny. This connection is not a cage. It is a calling. And if this message feels like it is speaking from you instead of to you, it's because some part of you already lived this truth before you ever heard it. You don't need to force what is destined. You only need to stay in the version of yourself that destiny can recognize. If you feel the shift, if you feel the approach, if you feel the energy gathering, then trust this. The moment is coming. The conversation is coming. The clarity is coming. The return is coming. The prophecy is coming into form, not because you chased it, not because you begged it, but because your soul called it. Now breathe. Stand in your energy. Hold your frequency. And when destiny knocks, open without trembling. And if you can feel this message in your bones, if something inside you whispered yes as you listened, if your heart reacted before your mind understood, then stay close, stay receptive, stay aligned. Because something huge isn't just coming, it's arriving. If this message resonated, stay connected, stay subscribed, and stay present. Not out of desperation, but because your spirit already knows. This story is not finished. It is about to begin.